I don't want this happen even to my worst enemy. I don't want really that happens to anyone. They go through this pain. It's really unbearable.
It's an incredibly painful day for Habib Hagju. 1 year ago, he lost both his daughter and granddaughter on the ill-fated Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752. 37-year-old Saharnaz Hagju and her only daughter, 8-year-old Elsa Jididi.
Elsa, actually, she was a carbon copy of Saharnaz. They were purely human. They loved human. They didn't have any bias or any prejudice in their view. Everybody for them, they were same, regardless of skin color or ethnic or religion.
We first spoke to Habib just 1 day after the crash.
It's getting harder, At the start, I believe maybe we didn't realize what happened to us. And now the wound, we feel the pain more and more, and it's getting more difficult.
On January 8, 2020, at around 6 a.m. local time in Tehran, the passenger jet was shot down by the Iranian army just minutes after takeoff. Of the 176 victims on board, 138 had ties to Canada. Hamid Ismailian lost his wife, Parisa Iqbalian, and their daughter, Rira.
My wife was 42 and my daughter was 9 years and 7 months and 16 days.
He last spoke to them over the phone when Parisa called to tell him she was on her way to the airport.
Every day is like a nightmare. Every day is just unbearable pain. But this is what they did to us.
Many of the lives lost were students or faculty members at Canadian universities. Ontario has set up scholarships to honor those victims. So too has the University of Toronto, whose fundraising match program has raised close to $156,000. And while memorials are held around the country for grieving families, Iran maintains the disaster was a result of human error. The families of the victims say there's still more to uncover.
We want the whole truth. Not a part of it. We want the whole truth. What happened? Why this plane was chosen to be shot down by the missiles?
The Iranian government recently announced it would be providing $150,000 in compensation to each of the victims' families without consulting with the governments representing them. Ismailian calls the money humiliating and disturbing.
I think this is another part of the psychological war that Iran has had against the families in the last 12 months. Without justice, without finding the truth, it doesn't have any meaning to us. For any crime, any murder, that in this case was like a mass murder of 176 people, it should be an investigation, impartial investigation.
By law, Iran is the lead investigator on the crash because the plane was downed on their soil, even though it was Iranian forces who shot it down. The push for the truth behind why the tragedy occurred continues from the victims' families and the Canadian government. For City News, I'm Natividad.